After hats and aprons are on, scores have been addressed, pins have been distributed, forebin sign-up has occurred, and recipe review has concluded, it is time to begin the flowchart. Each chef should have a recipe available at all times or multiple recipes if more than one is occurring during the cooking crew session. The most important part of the flowchart is that it is constructed in relation to the time available for cooking crew. Therefore, ensure that you first draw a line down the left-hand side of the chart paper that includes start time, end time, and an approximate middle point time. The first section of the flowchart is dedicated to the allocation of students to either completion of the flowchart, 1 to 2 students, or setup, everyone else, which includes forebin setup, gathering dish supplies, watching vegetables, and collecting necessary spices. From this point, it is important that the students working on the flowchart are signed up as service, and all of the setup people become cleanup. The first recipe you write on the flowchart should be the most complex of the recipes, because it will likely take the most time to complete. Start with the first step of the recipe, which isn't always the first step listed in the procedure. If you are using an ingredient, like an onion for an example, in the first step on the procedure, you need to look at the ingredient section of the recipe to see how that onion should be processed. Chopped, diced, minced, sliced, etc. The processing of the onion is actually the first step you would write on your flowchart. Each step is abbreviated next to an arrow, which has a length that is representative of the approximate amount of time it should take. Steps occurring simultaneously are shown side by side horizontally, showing that they are being done at the same time, or at least overlapping periods of time. You can fit more than one recipe on a flowchart, just separate them by using a different color for each recipe. Depending upon what works best for each team, students may sign up for tasks once completing their initial task, or they may check them off as they have been completed. After the main recipe or recipes are mostly completed, it is time to make a smoothie. The young chefs who have shown the most enthusiasm and listening skills throughout the cooking period can complete these. After the students gather the ingredients they want, they then write down a flowchart for their smoothie. The whole smoothie creation process takes about 20 minutes. At the end of the period, it is important that all food is served out, servers are aware of the recipe titles and ingredients, and cleanup occurs in a timely manner, so that cooking mentors and support are not left with the bulk of cleanup. When you are finished with the flowchart, tape it on the wall next to your cooking station. Students can sign up for jobs directly on the flowchart or check them off. Tape the forebin sign-up sheet next to the flowchart so that everyone is aware of when it is ready to go and when they are signed up for the jobs. Although the recipes will of course vary slightly from team to team, it is important that we use this formula, which we have carefully cultivated, in order to keep the learning process consistent for both the chefs and the mentors.